Hi, I'm Bonnie Barker with BonnieBayCrochet.com, and today I want to show you how to make the Easy Beginners Tulip Stitch Baby Blanket. This is a lot easier than it looks, and it's going to teach you some really fun new skills, but just using the very basic crochet stitches that you should already know. Okay, let me show you what you're going to need. And for this, I'm going to use 2 of these. You can use any worsted weight or number 4 acrylic yarn that you would like. Let me just give you the stats on this. Each of these, what they call cakes of yarn, has 260 yards, and I'm probably going to use most of both scans. And what other things are you going to need? I highly recommend that you have a crochet hook. I'm using a size I or 5.50 millimeter crochet hook. I also recommend you have a pair of scissors nearby and a yarn needle, and these are mostly for hiding those loose strands. Okay, let's go ahead and begin. We're going to start with our slip knot. And by the way, this is an easy project. If you have been able to crochet some of my other easy breezy blankets, I would definitely give this a try. This will, kind of change up a little bit on your crochet skills and add something else to your toolbox. Okay, for the starting chain, we are going to crochet 85 chains. Okay, and I like to crochet this by 5s just so that I don't lose track of this. But as I continue on with this chain, let me mention that the chain that I am recommending, which is 85 chains, is going to produce a baby blanket that's approximately 24 inches by 24 inches. Or actually, you can make it as long as you'd like, but the width is going to be approximately 24 inches. A lot of people write me and say, what do I do if I want to increase this? Well, if you want to make this baby blanket slightly larger, you would need to do so by adding multiples of 4. Now that I have my starting chain of 85 chains, I'm going to work 3 double crochets in the 5th chain. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5th chain right here, I'm going to work 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, just like this. Now we're going to count 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip those. In the 4th, I'm going to work a single crochet. And then I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to work 3 more double crochets right in that same place where I worked the single crochet. I'm going to stop here so that you can take a look at what I've done so far. Okay, and this is basically what we're going to do all the way across. Skip the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. Single crochet in that next stitch. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then 3 more double crochets all in that same space, that same chain. I'm going to pause again. Okay, so go ahead and do that all the way across. I'll do it one more time for you. Skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and then that 4th, go ahead and work a single crochet, chain 3, and then 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and let's pull it through all the loops here, and 3. So go ahead and work that all the way across your foundation chain. At the end of this round, we skip the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and we single crochet in that last stitch. Now this is what you should have at the end of this round. It's going to be a little bit curly, not a lot curly. If you find that yours is just a total corkscrew and extremely curly, you may want to actually undo this and go to a larger size hook to do your chain. Or you could just hold on and let's work the second row, and I believe that will help settle a lot of this curliness out. But if you tend to crochet your chains extremely tight, you probably will have to use a larger hook just for that foundation chain. Now we are going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 as we turn, and now we're going to work 4 stitches in that first chain. I'm sorry, 3 stitches, 3 double crochets in that first of the 4 chains that we just chained. Okay, so it's right there. Now we're going to skip the single crochet and the 3 double crochets, and we're going to work a single crochet in this chain area here, just in the entire area. Okay, you don't have to put it in a thread or anything, just in this whole opening here. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then work 3 double crochets right along that chain 3. And this is what we're going to repeat all the way across. We're going to skip the single crochet and skip these 3 double crochets, and then working in this big space here, work a single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then work 3 double crochets right in that chain 3. Again, skip the single crochet, and 1, 2, 3, skip those 3 double crochets, and single crochet in the next stitch, chain 3, and then double crochet, 3 double crochets right there on that chain 3. Let's take a look and see what we have. As you can see, it's already settling out that chain right as we speak. Okay, so go ahead and work that all the way across the row. Now we're going to go on to row number 3, which is a repeat of row number 2. So I'll go ahead and show that to you again. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to work 3 double crochets in that first chain that we just made there. 1, 2, 3. After that, we are going to single crochet in that chain 3. Remember, we're skipping the single crochet in the 3 double crochets here, and we're going straight for this chain 3 with a single crochet, chain 3, and then work 3 double crochets. Skip the single crochet and 1, 2, 3 double crochets, and then working in this big chain 3 space, single crochet, chain 3, and then 3 double crochets. I'll do this one more time so you can see it's an easy repeat. Skip the single crochet and the 3 double crochets, single crochet in that chain 3 space, chain 3, and then 3 double crochets. Now I'm going to pause here and let's take a look. So you can see how the edges are going to have a little bit of texture to it. And as we go across, this is what you should have. So I'm going to go ahead and work this row continuously until my baby blanket is 24 inches long. So go ahead and just repeat these 2 rows. If you need additional stitch support, just back it up to where it says row 2 or at the beginning of row 3 like I just showed you here, and just continue that all the way across. I have just completed working 38 rows, and I want to give you just a little picture of how these colors played out with this self-striping yarn. It's some candy yarn by Premier Yarns. It was a lot of fun to work with. Now You can choose to just fasten off right here. And I believe the edges of this blanket look fine and very interesting if you wanted to stop right there. I'm not real thrilled with the starting chain. I'd like to give this a little more texture. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start a perimeter round. And let me show you how much yarn I have left. I am estimating, okay, this is what I have left of the second cake of yarn that I'm using. I'm hoping this is going to be enough. I think it should be plenty to go around the entire perimeter. And I can't give you an exact yardage here, so you're going to have to just kind of guesstimate what you're going to need if you decide to do the border round that I'm going to show you. So I'm going to just continue on now with the same size eye or 9 crochet hook, and let's go ahead and work the border. One more thing I should have mentioned, the dimensions that I am getting on my baby blanket right now is approximately 23 inches across and 24 inches long. Now, if you wanted to make your baby blanket even longer than 24 inches, and actually we're going to be adding approximately an inch on each side as we do this border. So keep that in mind. But if you want to make this longer, all you need to do is make more rows. And you were the one in charge of designing this blanket. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin. We're going to be working in these chain 3 spaces. Let me go ahead and make sure you can see this. These chain 3 spaces, which are all along the edge, and it's going to be along both edges, so that'll be easy to work in. So go ahead and chain 2, 1, 2. This is at the end of the last row that we just did. And go ahead and single crochet again in that same place. That way we have a little corner here to anchor the last stitch of our round. So now we're going to wrap our hook and we're going to skip this material here, and we're going to work in this chain 3 of the row. It's actually 2 rows below this, but we don't need to worry about counting rows. Just need to look for these chain 3 spaces. Now in this chain 3, or actually it might have been a chain 4, but anyway, we're going to work 7 double crochets all in that same space. And this is going to create what we call a shell stitch. And you're going to, I think, enjoy how easy these are to make. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do one more. And by the way, if you want to put more stitches in these shells, you're welcome to do that. And you see how putting all these stitches in one place, how it creates kind of the shell shape. Okay, now the next chain space here, this chain 3 space, just put a single crochet in that one. Okay, now we're going to go to the next space, which is right over here. We're going to work 7 double crochets again, and this is what we're going to do all along both sides. Okay, I'll try to slow down a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Give you a look at that, and then go to the next chain space and simply work a single crochet in there. Okay, so I'll do one more of these for you, and then I'll continue on across, find the next chain space, which is right here, and we're going to work 7 double crochets. If you find your crocheting is very tight, you might actually want to consider using treble crochets. Actually, I think double crochets should work out just fine. But if you're finding that your stitches aren't reaching very well, and if it's really pulling this tight, go ahead and bump up to a treble crochet. Make 7 treble crochets instead of the double crochets. Okay, so now we have our next stitch here, our next chain 3 space, and we just do a single crochet. So go ahead and work that shell stitch all along the edge of the blanket, and I will show you what to do when you get to the corner. Okay, after working all along the side, we have 9 of these shell stitches worked, and I just want to show you how having the color outside of the white really helps to give this, the baby blanket some more definition, and I think it just increases interest. It's going to be a lot of fun for the baby to look at. Now we get to the corner. We've worked our single crochet there. I'm going to do something a little special right here in this corner space. I'm going to try to work 10 double crochets in this corner space to kind of give the corners kind of a nice rounded appearance. Okay, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's see if I like that. Oh, I do like that. It's a nice rounded corner, and that's going to give the blanket further definition. Okay, so now we need to anchor this. I'm going to use the circle spots where the place where the 3 double crochets were worked. So go ahead and put a single crochet in that first one there. In the next hole here, we're going to go ahead and work back to our 7 double crochets. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and let's pull through all the threads, and 7. Okay, and then find the next hole where those 3 double crochets were in, and it's right here. So go ahead and work that. I'll do one more for you. We're going to work this all the way across the next hole where the 3 double crochets were crocheted into. Go ahead and work 7 double crochets there. And 6, and one more. You can always give it a quick count or just even a visual. It's kind of good. So we're going to go ahead and work that all the way across the bottom, working in this little hole there. Okay, I've worked this all the way across the bottom. And again, I really like the way the color contrast with the pink. You know, this peach with the pink is really nice. Okay, now I'm going to work in this corner stitch, which is right here. And I'm going to work another 10 stitches, or 10 double crochets like we did in the last corner, to really round this out nicely for us. Okay, so I'll go ahead and work these 10 stitches. So after working those 10 double crochets in that space, I have another nice rounded corner. And now, just like we did on the other side, we're going to be working in the chain 3 spaces. So we're going to start with a single crochet, and then the next chain 3 space, we're going to work 7 double crochets, and we're going to do this all the way across that side. I'll go ahead and work the first one for you. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then the next chain 3 space, we're going to work that single crochet, and then in the next we'll work another 7 stitches. So go ahead and continue on with the fan stitch along the other side. After working that shell stitch all along the other side, I'm going to go ahead and anchor this right down here before we get to that corner, because I'm going to work the corner fan, which is the one with 10 stitches. I'm going to put it right here in this chain 3 space. So go ahead and work those 10 in that next chain 3 space. After that, I'm just going to continue on working in the chain 3 spaces, even though they do look a little different, because this is back to the last row that we worked. So go ahead and work a single crochet in that next chain, and then 7. Go ahead and try that one again. 7 double crochets in that next chain 3 space. I am working these stitches kind of fast. I apologize for that, but hopefully if you're at this point, you know how to work a double crochet, and that's all that I'm doing. Nothing fancy here, just double crochet. So we're going to work that, and in the next chain 3 space, we're going to work a single crochet. Okay, and then in the next chain 3 space, we're going to work those 7 double crochets again. That's 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so this is what you will be getting across that last edge. Okay, so go ahead and complete that all the way across. And that brings us all the way across to the little corner that we formed at the beginning here with that chain 2. Go ahead and work 10 double crochets right in that chain 2 corner. After working those 10 double crochets, let's go ahead and we're going to anchor this to the very first double crochet of the shell stitch with a slip stitch like this, and then go ahead and give it a chain, give it a tug, and get your scissors and go ahead and clip a nice, long strand, 5 or 6 inches would be good. Okay, and so this is how that corner turned out. So it really does match the corners of the rest of the blanket. And I'll give you a bigger view of this in just a second, but I want to show you one more thing. I do this at the end of all my videos just in case people aren't familiar with how to hide these loose strands. This is where you go ahead and get your tapestry or your yarn needle and go ahead and thread that. And it really doesn't matter which side we do this from because this blanket is actually totally reversible. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go down into that last double crochet that we worked. I'll try to give you a good view of this. And then I'm going to run it underneath all 10 of these stitches. Okay, just very carefully poking the needle around in there. Okay, so I don't see the needle showing on either side, so that should be good. And pull it, and believe me, there's a lot of tension on this, so this thread is not going to go anywhere. And very carefully, I'm going to clip it close. Make sure you don't cut your crochet stitches. That would be tragic. And another bonus about using this kind of self-striping yarn and only 2 scans is that we've got like 2 more little strings to hide. If I can find it. It's on the back side here. Well, anyway, there's another one in there somewhere. And I am definitely going to go ahead and find it. And here is another one. And that one actually was crocheted all the way around with those 10 stitches. So I'm going to just go ahead and give it a clip. I could have done that sooner. So that one will be hidden forever. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a better view of this. Well, I hope you enjoyed crocheting the Easy Beginner's Tulip Baby Blanket. I really enjoyed doing this myself. It was actually the first time I've ever done this stitch, and it was just so easy to learn. I hope you found that to be the case as well. If you haven't already, please hit that little subscribe button right up there in the upper right hand corner, and you won't miss any more of the new offerings that I have coming your way. God bless. Bye-bye.